Welcome to Exploring the Mystical Side of Life with your host, Linda Lang.
Hi, this is Linda Lang from ThoughtChange.com, and I'm here today on Exploring the Mystical Side of Life with a beautiful guest. You'll love her. Her name is Christine Amala. She is a psychic, a wisdom keeper, and the keeper of the golden keys of the mother whale. Welcome, Christine.
Thank you. So delighted to be here.
So, the keeper of the golden keys of the mother whale, that's quite a title.
No kidding.
Would you like to share how that came about?
Well, briefly, I attended something called the Gaia Sacred Mystery School in New Zealand, and the teacher is a lady called Koala. Everybody was given the opportunity to connect in and invite their God presence to give them a job. And so when this came up for me, it was like, well, I don't want that job. Got nothing to do with whales. And it didn't excite me. In fact, it really upset me more than anything else, 'cause I thought it was wrong. Anyway, of course, nothing's wrong. And I was in Australia and New Zealand, so I went off to see the whales. And I had some incredible experiences. And then I began to dream these amazing mandalas, and they would drive me a bit crazy. If I couldn't get them onto a page quick enough, they used to come back and back and back, and until I could put them on the page. And it was a 3-year process, actually, drawing. There's 34 mandalas in the set that have become the signature of the mother whale. And yeah, it's been quite the journey, because it was 2003, so 16 years.
So it's been quite a journey for you. The whales have come to you and given you symbols.
They did, yes.
And they're quite beautiful. You've shown me some of them.
Yes, there's 34. So in the school, there are 34 chakra points. So we go from the Earth star under our feet all the way up to the galactic crown, which was the card that you chose earlier. Yeah, so, and most of us only think of chakras being in the body. Well, these are below and above.
And so do each of the cards represent one of these chakra points?
Yes, yeah. And so when you're working with them, what I found is that, you may get the same one over and over again, but that means that particular point perhaps has in your evolution, maybe you've lost it, or it's broken, or, it's just stopped. So the more you're working with it, the more you are bringing it into alignment. The idea is that consciousness from, the more we evolved, they call them mother whale transmission codes. And my idea of transmission was about giving and receiving, like in a radio. It's a transmitter. And then I was mentioning it to someone one day, and they said, but a car's got a transmitter. It's about moving you forward. I'm like, oh, so it is. So really, it's the same kind of thing. So it's about, for me, it's about clearing the channel so that you can be a clear, crystal clear channel and receive on many different levels.
So you would consider these cards to be a healing tool or energy activation tool?
Both of those, but really the idea at the beginning was to help people with their channeling abilities so that you could become a better receiver, right? So that there's no distortions or like other people's stuff coming into your channeling. And whether that's healing or words.
Right, because the cards come with messages as well.
Correct, yes.
And the messages were channeled.
The messages were channeled, yes.
So you are a channeler.
Yes.
As well.
Correct, yes.
Fantastic, fantastic. What I love about your story, Christine, is that first of all, whales are known for their beautiful song and how it goes out and travels through the water and the air too. The vibration of their sound just goes out. And being highly evolved beings, that I think that it's really, really fascinating that they've come to you in dream form. And I'm going to assume as well, sometimes in dream form and sometimes the messages were just simply channeled.
Oh, yes. Most of the time it's channeled. The pictures came in dream, but the actual messages all came with me sitting. I have a pendulum. Now, anybody that knows me knows that I don't do anything without some kind of a pendulum, right? And there are many forms of it. And it's not about yes and no answers. It's almost like I stick my finger in the socket when I've got a pendulum in my hand. And then the words just come through. Because my old background was in hotels and I was a training manager. And so I'm used to putting something together. What I found when I started doing this work is I couldn't do that anymore. I have to be completely empty and just wait for whatever it is that's going to come. And it's a real lesson in trust and allowing, because there's no words until the words come.
And the human mind really likes to have some control. So, yeah, I'm sure that was fun. So it's fascinating. So these cards are in particular a tool for channeling, but I'm going to assume, because I picked a card.
You picked, yes.
I picked a card and it had such a beautiful message with such beautiful energy.
Well, I've got to understand that, or I've become to understand, is that all of the information or what comes from the word is about transmission and vibration. And so not only have you got color, you've got sound, and you have this vibration that comes through them. And so it's multi-level.
You mentioned vibration, so there's going to be vibration in the actual symbol itself and the colors used, as well as in the words.
Correct.
Or the message.
Yes. And then each one has a tone. So when you're working with them, if you had them yourself, then it's really important to actually say the words out loud, because each one has its own vibration. Never mind about the message.
Right? So you're talking of toning, and that is something that the person who has the cards would actually do.
So each card has its own sound, and I've got quite a lot of different information on my YouTube channel. And so this particular one is, it's not sophisticated in as much that you could do it your own way. You don't have to do it the same way that I do. And I actually encourage people to find their own sound. So even if you said this out aloud without singing it, it's Li, Ti, A, Mawu, Lu, Me Too, Q. Now that doesn't sound terribly exciting, but it doesn't have to, because it's the mere fact that you're using it, and they do the rest.
Well, it's just the judgment of the conscious mind, right?
Correct. Yes.
So for our listeners, Christine chose the Galactic Star card for me, or I shall say that we'll give an example in a bit and she'll pick one for the group. The kind of really beautiful thing about the card that was chosen for me was that it was about exploring other higher dimensions. And here we are exploring the mystical side of life.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, open to the possibility.
Which actually, you're going to laugh, Christine, because the byline on my website is open your mind to new possibilities.
Oh, there you go. Oh, beautiful.
And that was given to me. I've actually started to just recently. I used to automatic write, and I've started to sit in the mornings again and pick up my pen and paper and just allow that
Mm-hmm.
conversation to come through me. And it is a little bit of a challenge when you're not used to it, because the mind has a mind of its own sometimes. But once you can empty your vessel, I mean, such beautiful messages come through.
I'm sure, yes. When I first started doing this work, it was 1996-ish. I went to New York and I lost my air ticket. In those days, you had to have a ticket to get back on the plane. So a friend of mine said that she would organise air miles, but I'd have to wait. And every week I would write postcards from Archangel Michael, doing automatic writing. And I'd send them. And friends would say, how could you possibly know that was going to happen a week earlier? And I posted it. Well, I didn't. I had sent them on trust, right? I haven't done that for a long time, but it was quite joyful.
Sounds like great fun.
Yes.
So before we go ahead and pick a card for our general audience
Mm-hmm.
and the podcast, maybe you could share just a few little tips for anyone interested in learning how to channel or learning how to access that kind of greater awakened wisdom.
Yes. Well, it's an interesting, because I didn't actually set out to be a channel. I wanted to do healing. So when I went to the school, that was what I was aiming to do. I do think that it's important to find a quality teacher. And that's not so easy. But there are some really good people out. So it's really using your heart connection, listening to your gut, and finding somebody who resonates. And it may not be the first person that you go to, right? It's like go fishing, finding out who you can really learn from in the first place. But these days, there's some wonderful tools that are not that expensive. You know, just even angel cards or fractal cards or the Mother Whale cards. If you persevere and you work, because it's like everything, it does take practice. Like with the automatic writing, I would sit every day and write at least a couple of lines. And sometimes it was like pulling teeth, right? It's like, oh God, this is just terrible. And then the next day it would flow like, oh my God, did I just write that? So it's really about finding your, well, if you're passionate about it, if it's passion, then you persevere, find a teacher or find somebody who can work with you and help you understand, because I think it's quite a lonely road if not. That was my experience anyway. And I've met quite a few people come to me over time, and you know, you really need somebody to help you, because when you're off on your own, it can be quite discouraging in some ways. That's what I would say. That's the biggest lesson.
So if someone wanted to use your Mother Whale cards, how would that work? Would they pick a card every day and work with that energy, or?
Yep. One of my friends chooses the card before she goes out in the morning, and she sings it all the way to work in her car. Now, that's her vehicle, right? So, you know, if you're on the tube, it's not quite so easy, or in the bus. That's what you do, is you choose the one for the day, and then you can either keep it near you, or you can, you know, just every time you come back to it, you just do it some more. I had a friend of mine who laminated 2 or 3 of them and kept them in her apron pocket where she worked in a nature store. She'd go in the morning and she would chant the words in the store before it opened, and then have the cards in her apron pocket so that she could pop them out every now and again and do a little bit more. So it's really about finding what works as an individual.
And so the tone can actually become the mantra for the day.
Correct. Yes.
So I would suspect, Christine, that your cards are not just for people who want to channel, but even just channeling, positive energy or love energy or divine flow or
Yes.
whatever.
So quite a while ago, but I had a lady that did a monthly column in the Yoga magazine in Hong Kong. She invited me to do a monthly spot. And so we were working with people who specifically did yoga. And so in that case, you would take your cards and you place them around your yoga mat, and you choose a couple of cards, and then you would use the tone as you were doing your practice. And it's whatever floats your boat, so to speak. But yes, they can be used in many different avenues.
Of course, the voice is a very powerful healer and moves a lot of energy when you vocalize.
Correct.
So fantastic. So would you like to go ahead and choose a card for the podcast?
Lovely. Well, I'll let you you can choose the card. Like I said before, is if you I'll run my finger across and then you can choose which one you would like. So we'll go the other way this time. So go.
Okay.
So this one is called the Galactic Point of Consciousness. It always reminds me a little Mexican, that one, or a watermelon, but either. And it's 3 inches above the zeal point at the back of the head. So in other words, it's just below the crown. Explore the beyond.
That also sounds pretty appropriate for the podcast.
Correct. Yes. So the sound is an easier one. So it's Li Wo Mu. And reminder is that everybody's sound is different, so it's not, you don't have to make it the sound as mine, same as mine. And then the actual message is, welcome the energy from the galactic point of consciousness chakra into your dream time and feel how free or congested the chakra feels. Consciously bring your focus into the heart of this chakra and call for full balancing, clearing, and opening of your galactic point of consciousness. Any resistance held here, and imagine the code swirling through the chakras, all of your cells and all your whole body system, complete by sounding the tones of this beautiful chakra 21 times while in stillness, and allow yourself time for integration. So that's the message of the card. And each of these cards have also have an extra meditation, which I've done recently. And I recorded them all, and they're all on, I've made them into 3 separate categories. And you can buy the downloads. So there are like 3 discs that go with the cards as an extra, right? So a total of about 8 hours of recording on each level. Even if I say so myself, they're really quite amazing.
So what I find really fascinating, Christine, is that the card picked for me was the galactic star point.
Yes.
And then the card picked for the podcast is another point that works directly with the galactic.
Yes.
So it's very synchronistic.
There's never a mistake. Honestly, it's quite extraordinary how the cards are always spot on. But yes.
And you don't have to live near whales. You don't have to, do any particular rituals.
No.
It's just a way to help you kind of tune into the energy and allow.
Yes. And anybody that's really trying to open their channel, and it doesn't matter whether it's a healing channel or a speaking channel or a creative channel, these cards really help you to expand your awareness and to bring in a new level of consciousness.
Well, thank you for sharing them with us today. Is there anything else you would like to say before we wrap up?
Let's just drop into that heart chakra for a very brief moment. If we just go and just place our awareness and our attention on our heart. And I'm asking you to just still yourself by taking a nice deep breath. And the mother whales are gifting us at this moment. Imagine a spiral of light that's coming down from the heavens, from the galaxies, and spiraling around your body and your aura. And just clearing the old energy that has stagnated in this place or of any time or space. And then imagine a bright blue light coming directly down like a laser point, coming straight through your crown into your heart, going down all the way through to the earth. It's absolutely straight energy going down. And that blue light is expanding so that we are becoming inside a tube of blue light. And the mother whales are singing in that blue tube. You may not be able to see them or even feel them, but perhaps you can hear them just a little bit. Let that expand through your body and your heart. And breathe. And we'll just let you take that away with you.
It was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being our guest, Christine.
You're welcome.
Sharing the mother whale energy with all of us.
I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
Would you like to share your website and your YouTube channel?
YouTube channel is Christine Amala Hayes, Hayes, and my website is christineamala.com.
All right. I'll make sure that those links are in the show notes for easy access. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you for sharing your magic.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching this episode of Exploring the Mystical Side of Life. If you enjoyed this episode, check out some of our other topics and be sure to subscribe to the channel. You can visit me at thoughtchange.com, and while you're there, pick up your free copy of Learning to Listen. It's an ebook on how you can tune in to access your own inner wisdom. That's it for now. We'll see you again next time. Bye.